So say you're a beginner guitarist and you just want to learn the basic chords. Or say you're a more advanced fingerstyle guitarist and you want to learn your basic chords better, faster, cheaper, quicker, friendlier, deadlier. Maybe not the last one. Anyway, one of the ways that you can do to approach this is by using chord shapes. Hello everyone, Brett here. So one of the ways that I use to teach more advanced cowboy chords is to tell people to remember what the shape of the chord is. So once you've finished learning the really basic chords like E minor or A7, the ones that only take 2 fingers. Okay, so with the cowboy chords, I'm sure you're all familiar with it, but you have the E minor chords, the A major chords, A7. Any of the ones that just use 2 fingers, or the ones that are just all in the line, those are pretty easy chord shapes to remember. Then, to move on to the chords that take 3 fingers, I find some people have some difficulty with this. So, I'll say like with the D chord, all you need to do is to be able to do a triangle. If you can remember what the triangle is, then you're good to go for the D chord. So you can tell people to remember the equilateral triangle like this, or a triangle that goes in front. Super basic chord shape, but super easy and super helpful for people to really get the idea of the shapes. Similarly with the C chord, if you can remember that the C chord is all the shape like this with diagonal fingers, then normally that's good enough. The other ones require a little bit more imagination. Like C major, you can imagine, I guess, that there's a straight line going like this. Your fingers are all in one line. So you put down your top finger and everything else has to go down in a line from that. Otherwise, with the G chord, I tell them that this is the chord that hurts the most. With G major, it's a little bit harder. I've tried to think about what could this shape be. It works for C at 9 and for G. And then for like some other jazzy chords you can use. I've tried to think it's like 2 separate clusters. So you put these fingers down first and then you do your bottom fingers next. So like top fingers, bottom fingers. And you can think like 2 separate clusters of fingers like this, I guess. I'm not too sure. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Similarly, with more advanced fingerstyle tunes, you can use these same strategies. The top finger first, and also the shape of the chord strategy to help you memorize and to help you learn your songs faster. Why is memorization so important? I find it's that if you're reading the music or reading the tabs, it's the tabs that are telling you what to do. It's the tabs that are in control. Whereas if you're actually playing the music from memory, that way you're the boss and you can have more, say, musical expressiveness or control over what you're playing, and you don't always have to follow what the tabs are or turning the page. So the tabs are good for rehearsal, but they're not so good for performance. So once you've graduated from doing cowboy chords, and then you know them very, very well, it's now time to move on to other songs. So a song that I like to use to illustrate this chord shape is the Pachelbel Cannon, which is the song that is often played at weddings. You've heard it before. I'm sure you know the harmony. The arrangement I have is in drop D. So you have D, A, B minor, F sharp, G, then D again, and then G, and then A as the turnaround. So the melody is the part where you can sing, and then the harmony is the vertical component. So if you take all of the notes that aren't the melody, and then you line them together as a block, that's going to be the harmony of what's happening at that one point. Okay, so with the Pachelbel Cannon, the chord shapes that you need to know are either the A minor or the E shape, which are going to be transposed up here because of caged. And then the other thing that you need to know is the C shape or the G shape or the F shape, like this, which is the all in a row, and then you add this extra finger up there. So say if we go to measures like say 13 or something, you can start off by just looking at the general shape. So you say, okay, it starts off with this shape, then has this, then the B minor shape, then the F shape, and then the G shape, and then D, and then G, and then A, and then it goes after that. So you have this, practice these shapes, and then after that you add in the melody. Let's move on from the musty old Pachelbel Cannon and go to something more hip, fresh, and jazzy. So one of the ways that this shape method helped me to memorize a song was when I was learning weighting. Now, weighting is one of my tutorials that I did by Sungha Jung. And when I did the tutorial, a lot of people were waiting for me to post a cover. So I next posted a cover on my Instagram TV and Facebook that you can go check out. If you are still waiting to see that, I would suggest going to do that now. And then you can come back to this video and make sure you click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel. So the way the chorus goes in waiting is like this. So on. So how does the chord shape method work to practice this song? Let's take a closer look. You start off with the A7 chord, which you can remember as the chord shape being at the 9th fret and then this triangle backwards. Okay, and then you go to D, this D-shaped triangle, and then there's this shape, and then you go to B minor, which isn't really a shape, it's just like kind of bar with your pinky finger. So that's easy enough. Then E, and then A, but like it's over here. This is what I found the toughest. Sometimes I found I was going back a fret and I was going here, which is not good. So you want this shape here. So you remember that there's 2 fingers here, they go across. And then back to A major shape. Then you go to your bar, and then you go to C sharp minor, and then F sharp major, with this like sharp 9, I guess. And then after that you go to B minor, and then it's E major and the chorus is finished. So once, again, like you can watch my tutorial, but what you want to do is you want to say calculate, you can say there's a chord change every measure, right? So you calculate 4 beats per chord change. So you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, so on, 2, 3, 4, on and on. And then once you want to do that, then if you want to memorize it faster, you just do like a block, like like hit each chord steadily after every beat. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then so on until the song. And after that, you can change the rhythm if you want to help yourself memorize it faster. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not necessary to change the rhythm, but some people find changing the rhythm helps them memorize it faster. Some chord shapes can be moved easily up and down the fretboard in standard tuning. For instance, the C chord can appear here as C major and then D, and then you can go all the way up here. And then the D chord, as we've seen, can be D major, and then you can also have G major, and then you can have A major like this. So you can compose a whole song that just involves sliding your finger up and down the fretboard. Something like that. I actually find this is kind of difficult because the space between the frets doesn't stay the same as you go up and down. So like when you're up here, the frets are different. And when I was doing a transcription of Fusion Style Boy in standard tuning by Henry Chin, the part that goes like one of the chorus parts involves a lot of moving around like of this dominant 7th pattern. And then I found this was quite difficult because you have all 4 of your fingers moving, and then sometimes like here you have to switch your strings. So what I did was, even at this part, I just took off the 2nd finger, even though it's the same shape. So I find that, I don't know, some people like that, having the same finger shape all over the fretboard. Personally, I find it's a little bit more difficult just because of the changing distance between your fingers. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Leave a comment right now, and while you're there, click the like button and subscribe to the channel. One of the things that you can do if you don't like memorizing chord shapes is just to use an alternate tuning, like I've explained in my alternate tuning video, and then do the Tremonti method. So this Tremonti method is named after Mark Tremonti, and actually I don't know any of his music. I've never listened to his band, but I know he is fond of using alternate tunings. And this is something that you can do if you don't like memorizing chord shapes. So you can tune into something like an open tuning, or you can tune into DADGAD. And there's often shapes that you can use that go really well up and down the fretboard. Like there's this this G shape that goes to A, and then B, which always sounds super, super nice. Okay, so super simple. You've got these fingers in the 3rd fret, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th finger on the 6th, 4th, and 2nd string, and then you've got your 1st finger here that lags behind. Sometimes it's 1 fret behind, sometimes it's 2. If you want a major chord, it's 1 fret. If you want the minor chord, it's 2 frets. But anyways, this one goes up and down the fretboard. And there's lots of examples of this in DADGAD. You can use half of that, or I don't know, whatever you want. But yeah, use your imagination. So remembering chord shapes and analyzing the chord shapes is a form of deliberate practice. So this deliberate practice is outlined in a paper by K. Anders Ericsson. So you could go check that out. I heard about this through Noah Kageyama's website. And this deliberate practice helps you memorize things better. It's supposed to be a more efficient way to practice and a better way to spend your time. So I would really recommend looking at this way as a form of deliberate practice, as it is a little bit more tough to do, but it's not as, say, useless as the mindless running through practice. So even if the piece that you already know, try looking at the chord shapes. Use that deliberate practice method to get an advantage for your memorization of the song, or maybe improve parts that you're not quite sure that you're playing very well. Anyways, let me know what you think. Tell me if this chord shape method has helped you in your practicing. That's all for the video today. Thanks for watching. Share with your friends, and I will see you in the next video.